We're live. We're live. We hit infinite yesterday. Pretty good. Pretty strong, fast climb. That said, I've already fallen 400 spots. That was 400 something yesterday. Already 864. Having never played a single game. I just don't do that much ranked. Today, we might do a little ranked, but what I want to start off with is a little conquest stuff. And before we get started with that conquest stuff, I maybe want to tweak my deck a little bit. And the reason I want to tweak my deck a little bit is because of Leech. Leech was something that I had included in the very first iteration of my Arishem list, even before Arishem came out. I made my 11-card list, gonna drop Arishem in it. Leech was on that list. And I quickly took Leech out because the meta was so Arishem heavy that Leech was reasonably, I wouldn't necessarily say inconsistent, but it just didn't have that knockout punch that it has against most constructed decks that have thought-out win conditions. So I took Leech out, never looked back. Now, Arishem is dropping in play rate, which is great, love to see it. And two, I'm going to be doing some Conquest, and Leech stocks go way up in Conquest. So, in thinking about what to do, I have some potential cards to cut, but then it could get a little bit weird. So, the most obvious place to cut would be Gwenpool. Gwenpool's a little untested, I think is probably very good, but is not necessarily necessary. I really like it for the curve, however. Another thing that I really had not considered, but earlier I saw a video that, hey, welcome TJ, glad to see you. I'll add now before we have a ton of viewers. Do you mind, TJ? I don't know protocol for calling people by their real human names in the chat without kind of their blessing. So I'm happy to call you Double Neg. I like the familial TJ, unless you want me not to. Okay. And that said, you watch Twitch to some degree, I would imagine. Is there social protocol there? I can ask other people, but just I don't know if there's accepted how that works. So thank you. I'll call you TJ, but if you want me to call you something else, let me know. So in a KM Best video about a very similar Arishem list, he doesn't run Quinjet. And not running Quinjet, frankly, never would have occurred to me. It's just such a natural, you get it out early, it affects half your goddamn deck, it affects all your Loki. But I can see a world in which it actually does not move the needle enough. And it's just kind of a win more situation, where if you win because you had Quinjet, you probably would have won without Quinjet. I'm not sure. Yeah, and I TJ with the handles thing, I think that's probably true. It just a lot of my viewers, he says, as if he's got a huge following, are individual, like, people that I know that are not really online. They're not other streamers. They're not famous personalities using their handles. They're not people that I even know through World of Warcraft through their handles. They're just, my friend X, my friend Y. And so my natural thing is to call them by their name, because the doxing of it all and their branding doesn't matter that much. But it's a point taken that if I make, for example, Binks, kind of the patron saint of this stream. He's just an awesome dude, awesome streamer. I know Binks' real name, but I'm not going to call him that. I'm going to call him Binks, certainly on this stream, because that's his brand, and, he's wanting to, I mean, he hasn't told me explicitly, but people who are building their brands want to use the names of their brands. So, the other, I guess, thing that I could cut is Enchantress. I've already got Rogue, and I kind of like Rogue for purposes of actually taking the ongoing effect as well as potentially becoming a great big surrogate blob. Enchantress is obviously incredibly powerful against a lot of things, but it might be better to have, if you could pick between two cards of Enchantress, Gwenpool, Leech, Enchantress might be the weakest link in the thing. I'm not cutting Dr. Octopus. I really like that tech. And Legion has just won me so many games. I think what I'm going to try and do is cut Quinjet. And that might just absolutely kneecap my curve. But we are keeping the potential of putting it back or swapping in things around. And we'll see how it goes. Coming in from work today, going to Board Game Monthly. Do you, when one goes to a Board Game Monthly, is the agenda known in advance? Is like, oh, we're going to play Pathfinder or whatever the hell board games, or do you just show up and whatever people brought whatever? It's so funny that TJ's talking about playing board games in the Northeast region. I'm in Seattle, and Seattle's not the sticks, but things in Seattle are far from other things. You can't just pop down to Portland. It's 3.5 hours, and that's even the close one. It's always funny to me in the New England of it all, how you can drive 10 minutes and be in 3 different states, or like hop on a train and just cross the several major cities. So I hope you have fun in your far distant land of Rhode Island. Hey, Serena Luke, how you doing? I am great. We're just getting started with some Conquest. I hit Infinite yesterday pretty quickly, and I do not overly like playing, I guess we'll call it ranked, normal mode, in Infinite this early in the season. It is truly murderous. The only people that you match against in Infinite right now are the people that in the past 48 hours have raced to Infinite, and they're all killers. And I just do not want to bother trying to eke out a couple of cubes here and there from the world's best snap players. So we now, once we hit Infinite, we take a detour into Conquest. These are no slouches. It has matchmaking, and I play against good opponents. But I'm not playing against the true elite in a way that I don't derive a ton of joy outside of like a big tournament or something like that. Yeah. Pizza, 20 minutes. What a time to be alive. TJ, you're about my age. And I think about this all the time. I go into a game store, and you walk around, and in the back, they got tables. It's a great space. Like, it's just warm. They have all this cool stuff. And I don't really go to this, but it's a gathering place for nerds to get together and have just a wonderful Friday, Saturday night. And when I was a young nerd, that really didn't exist. Like, we had Magic tournaments that would maybe come through town, but like there wasn't the local game store that had tables set up in the back for that as a kind of a social activity. I think it's so cool that exists now. I need to go to more pizza game nights with hanging out, and I know that what you're talking about might be at a private residence, but my opponent is playing ours. But that kind of thing, I look at with such affinity. So I hate to just blow my Enchantress here, but I have no other play. Next turn we can Octopus into Blah. I don't... If I was playing a normal deck, this is maybe even a snap, but the fact that my Arishem playing opponent hasn't played anything, it probably means they got a bunch of great big killers in their hand, and this Dr. Octopus is going to kind of ruin me. That said, don't have a ton of other play lines here. I think we just do this and pray that I'm pulling some true hot garbage, and if I don't, try and win in the other lanes. Oh, so we're completely emptying his hand.
Wakanda forever!
There's his Enchantress. Oh, that's the expensive Enchantress in Shang-Chi, of course. This Enchantress is what you got for like spending $100 some month. Alright, so not great. that said, my opponent is kind of top decking. I have a couple of lines here. I can try and throw. I could throw left. I'm actually gonna do a bluff here.
Oh, snap.
Call it a semi-bluff, because I'm absolutely going to win left. And my opponent has 2 cards to lock up one of the other lanes. I think with a combination of Lizard and Moon Knight or something. Oh, he doesn't even play. Well, this feels pretty good. My opponent has 2 cards. And I have priority. I think what I probably... Yeah. There's a weird stay and then leave from my opponent. My line would have been probably Lizard Valkyrie in the right, because I didn't have priority, and if he had played Blob right, I would have felt very... Or Darkhawk right or something, I would have felt stupid, but that was the line I liked. The one roadie happens... It's also funny. Do people call Rhode Island roadie? I can see that. German-American Cultural Center. Do you... That is a great spot, conceptually. Do you have, like, German-American connections? Or are you just like, nah, this is where the nerds go, we're doing it? I really don't know how cultural centers work, if they celebrate that kind of thing, and they're like, yes, German nerds, bring your other nerds, or not. I kind of like Coulson on Onslaught Citadel. If we end up putting Omega Red there and winning that lane, that will do work. Or maybe we get Darkhawk or something. Go for a Hero Iron Lad here. Should maybe Hero Iron Lad here. Cyclops, sure. Okay, so my opponent... I'm gonna play a big old something-something in the right lane. And I have no way to deal with that right now, so... Omega Red left... So Omega Red right seems maybe a little copium until I get a tool to deal with it. That said, I have no great way to get into Quantum Realm with any kind of power. Maybe as Mockingbird and chill. Alright, that is a big... Blob is pretty cool. Blob is actually very cool for Quantum Realm. The thing is, I'm reluctant to snap here, because unless they play Blob right, which I don't want to do, I have no... I'm banking on these 2 lanes, and if he has any counter card, I just lose. Ah! See, no, that's why... If I am my opponent... Oh, okay, just kidding. I'm doing a boomer snap here, and I did that quite quick enough that I hope that he reads this as a mistake on my part. But doing this is likely enough for a win. If he stays. And there's counter plays that he can make that beat me in places, but I think that this is good. I have priority, so he can't stop the stealing of the Darkhawk, but he might be able to kill Blob mid and maybe steal, if he has like Shang-Chi Rogue, that wins there. That said, his Rogue might take my Omega Red. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of things that cook me here, and there's... Yeah, that's not going to do it. Get out of my game! The organizers member, I think, just want to create...
Victory!
Yeah, that's really cool. To be able to use, like, that kind of venue. You see, not the German-American thing specifically, but all over Pittsburgh, where I'm from, and Seattle, where I am now, there are various... Ukrainian Cultural Center, or
this land is always changing.
Fastos is a dead card. Finnish Cultural Center. Swedish Cultural Center, and it feels very imposing and foreboding. Like, get out. If you're not one of us, don't come in here. And so hearing that you have a fun, cool social event at one of those is like, oh, tell me more about that. Well, I was going to play Mockingbird mid. I'm not going to do that anymore because Sage mid is pretty compelling. Also, Legion mid can be a surprise. Oh, especially now. Legion mid can be a surprise tool. I'm going to snap because my opponent has played nothing and Coulson is pretty sweet. Ah, well. Loki's a pretty good card. Devil Dinosaur stocks are down now because he has 3 good ways to deal with that. Okay, we have some lines here. That's a line. I really like holding that, though. No, I think we're going to do this. Here's my Gwenpool, maybe. Well, Sif is a cool card because Arisham is a dead card. I think I like... Hey, Jessica James! And... not only first-time chatter, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. We are doing some Conquest in an uncertain situation where my opponent is probably ahead this game, but I've got tools. I think we do this. Broadly pretty well. Feels pretty good being, you know, ahead in this Conquest, even if I am behind right now. And my opponent has some real big, juicy Gwen-pooled cards, including what he just did there. Rogue does nothing for me here. So my play would be Fastos Nick Fury. And I could play for all 3 lanes. But my opponent has a completely full hand and many discounted cards. So we are just leaving later, calling it good. Jessica, well, just in reverse order. Jessica, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. Super fun. I'm playing Marvel Snap on a you guys can't see, but it's a gorgeous day outside to some friends and loved ones and future friends and loved ones. And even though we just lost that game, we're having a nice time. I'm enjoying some cold brew coffee. It's hard to imagine life getting much better. And then Double Neg. I guess it didn't occur to me that there would be booze at these things, but of course the German Cultural Center would have alcohol there, so that's pretty cool. I am gonna put my opponent to a decision. Having Loki here is real good. I'm also probably gonna put down Morph next turn, which is broadly good, but also could be hilariously devastating. How long have I been streaming? Let's call it 2 weeks. I believe I've been streaming for 2 weeks. I actually think I like Sentinel more for keeping up my hand size. It constricts things a little bit. But rather than a rando morph, I will take the guaranteed 3 power and the extra Loki card. Oh, even more cards. Great.
Live from the Daily Bugle.
Opponent has Mystique, be advised. I am also not going to have my own Shang-Chi. My own Shang-Chi going away. Blob, Mystique, Shang-Chi, real good. Oh, God. Snap again. So, my opponent very easily could have Shang-Chi, which, of course, is a concern. But I am having blobs for days, so we're going to get all this down. My card opponent does have a bunch of cards in his hand, so there is that. Okay. And my opponent has priority. If they do a oh, what do you call it? A Shang-Chi this turn, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed. Because my Mystique will do nothing. And they can't afford it. I think we like that. Oh, not Shang-Chi. Uh-oh. Okay. That's good. Yeah, I have absolutely no issue with people coming into my chat and be like, hey, I'll make some art for you. I completely respect the hustle. I completely understand it. So I don't, and I'm open to it, by the way. I have no plans, but I'll certainly look at anything anyone wants to send me. You just gotta find me on Twitter. Right above my picture here is my Twitter, and the best way to get a hold of me. So if they play Shang-Chi, I would love to play Mockingbird in a lane where that still wins. And I don't know if I've set that up. So if they play Shang-Chi middle, they're going to have 12. Which actually that ties, so that's the play here. But then I guess Captain Marvel can't move. This is what we're doing. My opponent could have some here. Yeah, I was going to say, you never know with Arishin, but I just put up a bunch of numbers. My opponent using the Spotlight Luchador Blob avatar. I actually have an Infinity Border on that one because I thought it would be pretty fun. In reality, I don't think it's as awesome as I had hoped it would be, but it's a pretty sweet avatar, and I respect it. I'm going to use it. Well, there's no more snapping. Game's over. Not game's over, but we're grinding each other down. I'm in a very strong position with a decent curve, although Gwenpool is going to have a lot of hits onto Blob, which is kind of useless. Here's Bastos. Gwenpool onto rocks are cool. Maybe that's what will have happen. Yeah. What are the odds? So hang on. Prior to... there were 24 cards in my deck, and 4 of them were rocks, and then I drew rock. That's mathematically unlikely. There's jack shit happening at work right now. I did not realize you are coming to us from work. I misunderstood your very initial message. I thought you were like... I was using a physical... calculus. You are telling me that you are at your work right now watching this. Is that correct? Hell yeah. Love it. If I had... oh, what's up? Yeah, Hobgoblin New York is a cool play. Now, tragically... oh, my hand is really hot garbage. My opponent has... lots of 6-drops, and I have Wolverine and a rock. So we're gonna do this. What, do you get a, a fixed percent discount at your store, or does it depend on the items, or nothing? What does that landscape look like? Yeah, 10% is not nothing. Oh, my opponent's hand is garbage. That is a terrible option. I can't imagine what the other 6 drops he got that he wanted to do that play. Holy crap. Alright, so... if he has Shang-Chi, we're just cooked middle, I think. Or, if he has Shang-Chi, we could set up a way to kind of win like this. No, that doesn't. So I need to get above 6, which is actually, I need to get to 14. Do I have... does that even do it? Actually, now that I think about it, maybe that isn't a... it isn't a win. I think we just throw middle, probably. And we just do this. No, I don't like... okay. Okay, I think there's a lot of things that beat us on the right here. Yeah, that'll do it. I'm not sure there is any play where I could have won that. Oh, hey, Fastos Kingpin. Welcome to the party. Yeah, I would have needed to add a casual 21 power mid. I don't think there is a way to do that. I remember when I was in college. Well, no, White Widow seems pretty good. Really like White Widowing separately. White Widowing in an unrevealed location can often just win the game. Whenever a Death's Domain or a Space Throne or something gets revealed, so I really like this play. I was in college, and my roommate worked at the... my roommate who actually comes to the stream sometimes. Former roommate at the time, worked at GameStop. Local GameStop in Bellevue, Washington. The Overlake. I don't know if it's even still there. And that GameStop had a lot of... whoa, my play plays nothing? What the hell? Had a lot of employees there that were very regular. They... oftentimes at retail locations like that, you got your college students who maybe work 5 or 10 hours a week, and you've got all the way up through full-time 40 hours. That particular GameStop at that time, his hand was being weird, had a disproportionate number of employees that were like higher hours. No, this is. I'm not in a good spot. I guess he probably held his hand in because he knew he was going to Loki. That makes sense. Well, we'll leech and hope that we turned off some good stuff for him. So, this GameStop had a reliable workforce, but the way that the corporate policy was for the holidays, because GameStop seasonally does way more business in December and whatnot. Oh, casual blob on turn 4, sure. Well, hopefully I just turned off a Mystique or something. I think we do this and chill. GameStop corporate policy had something in it at the time, you know, this is like something like 20 years ago, where you had to have a certain number of employees on the payroll because Christmas was busy. And my GameStop didn't need that many employees on the payroll because they had so many regular employees. And so there was this, the manager there reached out to his team, including my old roommate, and said, hey, I need to hire people who don't want to work at all. I need to hire people that, well, I'm not gonna, I was going to say I'm not going to draw a next card, but I will draw a next card. I need to hire people, Rogue could get there, that don't mind just getting on the payroll and not coming in ever. I just need them on the payroll, and I don't want to give them any hours or anything. And yeah, just to know. And so my roommate asked us, and I was like, "Of course I will do that because we got the discount. There's no way I can win here. I can't get bigger." I mean, Rogue is. I could just not play for mid, but if he has any kind of sense, he's going to try and add some power left, and I'm not going to right, and I'm not going to be able to compete. I think we just do this and lose. Hey, Sunrise Alex. Is there any chance you just didn't play anything? I mean, I could beat that. Did I maybe just win here? There's no way. Oh my gosh. There's a way. Oh no, I turned off Witness Kiss. I forgot about that. Well, there was no other way I could get to tie his Lokian power. Didn't see that coming. I couldn't have won anyway, but that's a funny way to almost win and then not win. Sunrise Alex, good to see you, number one. Number two, to continue my story, hugs to you as well. Hail Satan Luxie, the gang's all here. So I was hired 20 years ago at my local GameStop in Overlake, Bellevue, Washington, as basically a no-show job, and it was perfect. And I remember walking in there one day, and my roommate was not working, and I think I might have gone in with my roommate, but it'd been funnier if I didn't. And I walked up to the counter, and I wanted to buy something, and I was like, hey, I'd like to buy this and use my employee discount. And the employee, who I've never met, said, like, oh, what GameStop do you work at? I said, this one. And I distinctly remember this interaction being like, I was like, yeah, no, I can't remember even the manager's name now. He's like, he hired me, and, you know, it eventually worked out. But there was some amusing confusion where I remember I used that discount once, and then that was it. This is a pretty terrible hand. Boy, my opponent getting real lucky in ways that I am not. I had him down 8-2. But he is hanging on by a thread, and I'm just drawing like hot garbage. So my opponent, this is clever. Murder World will respawn in Valley of the Hand, and he's getting a couple Fastos clicks. So my opponent is not a slouch here. I'll do this. I thought you were 20. No, I am in my 40s. I am not as young as I used to be. I live a comparatively low-stress life, which allows me to remain as wrinkled and gray-free as I can with my strong, but not as strong as it was, hairline. Yes, why, thank you. Hey, what's up, Darkhawk? So, fun fact, you might think, oh, I can Shang-Chi right now. You don't want a Shang-Chi, a big fat card with Valley of the Hand present before turn 6. And the reason for that is he's gonna come right back and visit you. There's a real argument to me not playing Mysterio here. If he kills Devil Dinosaur, I'm actually going to fill up. Actually, he's not going to be able to kill Devil Dinosaur because I'm going to shrink it too much. I think that this is the play. Actually, the alternative, now that I think about it, I could just do a Naked Helicarrier and then does Scar cost 0? Yeah, Scar just goes to 0. I think that this is probably the right play here. And now I don't hate if Shang-Chi gets pulled. That actually does a ton of work. Shang-Chi mid? Yeah! I would have felt real bad if he didn't play Big Fat Mystique there. So that's good. Feeling pretty good about this one, but that said, I have no way. I can't get bigger. I have mana for virtually everything. Question is, if I am him and I'm going to play Blob, where am I going to play Blob? If my opponent Shang-Chi's, I think I like this. I think I like this. Kind of spreads the power around. There's many cards. This is how Arishem works. Arishem is so zany that they could easily have all kinds of crazy stuff that completely cooks me here. That said, I'm going to have 20 power. If that needs to be a blob, that yeah, we're good. Oh, yeah, okay. That's still a bunch. I was like, oh no, he's going to turn off my Devil Dinosaur for 4. We did it! Get out of my game! That's a gold ticket. Oh, and my opponent with a very gracious fist bump. I talked yesterday about emote etiquette, and what my opponent just did, incredibly good etiquette. It's so strange how just simply sending an emote at different times when you only have a couple different emotes are just radically different in terms of how they land. I will say socially. And some of them are deeply, you're just being a huge douche. They just don't do that, be an adult. Some of them enormously gracious, some of them very funny. What my opponent just did, we battled it out. My opponent was very good. They played very correctly. I got more lucky than they did, basically. And at the end of it, they lost and then graciously threw out the fist bump. You can't get any more polite than that. We should all aspire to do that. I am not even that gracious a lot of the time. I was once playing Revis, who is a very good streamer, who's a little bit grumpy. I think he'll be the first one to tell you that he's a little grumpy, but he's very good. I was playing him before I really understood anything I'm talking about the emotes in a conquest, and I beat him, and I sent the fist bump, and there it was more marginal. It wasn't on the back of some bullshit. It was just good game. That was my intent, to send it as good game, but I sent it as the winner, which was on the margins, and Revis understandably took that offensively. And I know this because later I went back to his video. I love watching replays of myself beating streamers. I get the perverse joy out of it. I watched it, and then after I beat him and sent that fist bump, he was pissed. And I felt so bad because I didn't know that I was giving offense, and he could have interpreted it differently, but I tweeted at him. I'm like, I'm Gerald Philactus. I'm sorry. I just thought, and then I started thinking about how these emotes can and should be used, and so now I don't use these emotes hardly at all because I don't want to accidentally give offense. I almost mute all of my opponents. I just don't send these things. It's a complicated, weird, kabuki, psychological, socio-confusing system. It's fascinating. I think it should be studied. Yeah, fist bumps as the winner, I would say could be considered rude. It's on the margins. For example, if you fist bump after, I gotta say it's very contextual as well. In this situation, had Free Roll beat me and given the fist bump, it could be considered rude because they came back from a huge deficit and it's kind of like a middle finger. But I think it also could be considered respectful because we duked it out and it was very, very well fought. And it would be kind of up to me to interpret what was going on, and I think it's on the margins. That said, because the loser sent the fist bump, that's always super polite. And conversely, let's say that you send the fist bump after winning, after getting incredibly lucky, and or making a bad play and kind of accidentally winning. I think that it can be widely considered rude, and you shouldn't do it. Miss Marvel, yes, that is a completely different conversation, open to all sorts of different interpretations. And yeah, Miss Marvel is much more of a obvious FU emote, but the fist bump used aggressively can certainly be contextually sort of like a bless your heart thing. I don't know if you've got any Southerners in the chat, but bless your heart is not a nice thing to say to anybody. It kind of is. on the surface, but under the surface, it is not. Double Neg, I never took a fist bump in Malice. That is a healthy attitude, and I think if everyone feels that way, then fist bumps will never be in Malice. If it's agreed upon socially that that's how it should be used, universally, then it becomes true. I just think that there's people out there that use it like there's a small percentage of people that use it after they win like a dick, enough to kind of poison the well, enough so that I just don't ever emote unless it's clearly like Spider-Man point for doing the same play, or like in this case when my opponent lost and sent the fist bump, you have to send the fist bump and to meet them halfway with the social contract. It's, as I say, it's very weird. I imagine that there's some sociologist somewhere that if they knew about this system, about how Marvel Snap handled emotes and like the what just happened, the text things and the little avatar icon things that you can send, they would study it because it's fascinating. Now, to go back, yes, bless your heart does mean you're stupid. Or wrong. You know, there's all sorts of negative connotations. The question was, what does my opponent's frame avatar mean? And I want to spend just a half second on that. I'll actually exit here to show you. Oh yeah, Arishem boosters is what we want. We'll spend those in a moment. First, let's collect my gold ticket. So, I don't know if this system becomes accessible until you reach a certain level of collection. But we're going to talk now about spotlights and spotlight variants. So every week, there are 3 cards that, and again, this might become available only after a certain collection level, but once you reach that collection level, there's 3 cards that you can purchase, quote unquote, with the spending of these spotlight keys. And it's random. You use a key and you get one of these cards or a mystery random card. The thing is, they're only introducing 1 card per week. And so in this case, Hydra Bob, I don't have Hydra Bob. I have a 25% chance I spend a key, I get Hydra Bob. But I already own Nebula. And I already own Galactus. And the way that Second Dinner, the game developer, has designed it is so that if I were to spend a key right now, I get one of these 4 things, because I already have Nebula and already have Galactus, they want to give me something. So what they do is they give me this sexy Sweeney, and I don't mean sexy by, you know, Nebula's thing. We'll use this as a more, this sexy, unique Galactus avatar, variant, that for at least a year will only be acquirable by this system. This Galactus variant is either never going to be in the store or won't be in the store for a year. So you get this. I think that's Kyera. It looks like Kyera. I don't know if it is Kyera, but it looks like Kyera, and I'm not a Marvel expert. We'll say it's Kyera until a Marvel expert comes in here and tells us otherwise. So if you spend one of your keys and get a duplicate, which is to say this variant, you not only get the variant, but you also get an avatar for that variant that matches it. And not only do you get that avatar that matches it, that avatar, I'm going now to my collection of avatars, you get quote-unquote a normal one, but then you get like this beefy, unique border. I have this Black Swan avatar with this beefy border because of what I just described. I spent a spotlight key. It randomly gave me Black Swan, but I already owned Black Swan. So it gave me this Black Swan variant and this Black Swan avatar and the avatar option of having this beefy border. That said, the Infinite Conquest border is all I use. It's the game mode that I play. It's kind of the game mode that I'm specialized for. I'd say not for nothing, I am one of the best in the world at this. So whenever this border, it is cool, but it is not enhanced by the fact that you've gone through an Infinity Conquest. For example, Blob, if we actually search for Blob, when I spent a Spotlight key and was awarded a duplicate of Blob. I got the fancy fat one with the border. I got a quote-unquote normal one. And then later, I went into Conquest, won the Infinity Conquest, and quote-unquote upgraded my border to this one. So that's a very verbose explanation of the fat border means it's the Spotlight avatar, which is a neat kind of extra bonus. You didn't get a new card, you spent a key, sorry, but we will give you a cool, opulent border. And to be clear, if you have not messed around with Conquest, it is extraordinarily challenging to win an Infinity Conquest. You have to be exceptional at the game, you have to get exceptionally lucky, and you have to put forth an enormous amount of time. It is not common for people to have an Infinity border, let alone more than one Infinity borders. It just so happens to be the thing that I have the most connection with, and so I do it. But for the most part, this kind of border I think is good. Anyway, let's keep it going. Thank you all for the digression, and thank you all for hanging out. Fran Jav, it's good to see you again. Scrolling back up, Sunrise Alex, it is good to see you again. And certainly, you look so good. Let's put some respect on that. I want to go back to the fact that it's surprising that I am in my 40s. Yes, I regret to inform you I am in my 40s, but we're trying to moisturize in good skin condition. And the thing is, with Infinity Borders, you really only have to do it once. When you do it once, you get your one avatar, you call it good, and you don't have to sweat about it. And that said, let's switch. My very first Infinity, the avatar that I used forever, and we'll go back to because I think it's hilarious. Hellcow. He's just an incredible, like a vampire cow with the red eyes. Just stupendous. We're going to go back to that for a moment. And real quick, before we get back into Conquest, I want to upgrade my Arishem with those boosters that I just got so that I can use the 8-hour store refresh and not waste any boosters.
Animated.
And to Gripswick's point, I need to get better at Infinity so I can give Nico her borders. Increasingly, I am convinced that completing an Infinity Conquest is not so much a reflection of skill. You certainly need skill. It is a reflection of patience. I say this because even if you are overwhelmingly favored, you are a god among snappers, playing the deck to beat at that moment. You need to beat 5 opponents who very well might be killers in a row without losing. And so you're probably going to lose. And so you need to be able to grind through and get the tickets and lose. I'm not going to run Wolfsbane out for one, and I'm not going to run Rogue out. So my opponent, real quick, my opponent is running Arishem. My hand trash. We'll just see how it goes. So all you need to be able to do to win Infinity Conquest is just keep at it. And you keep at it, and you keep at it, and you keep at it, and you will eventually do it once. But it can be so frustrating to get to that last... And this has happened to me not only multiple times in my life, but multiple times this past month. To get to the last game of the last match and just lose to some... Not even 50-50, but like 25%. Thank you, come again, you lose. Terribleness. Do we want to do Beta Ray Bill or Jessica Jones? We'll probably do some Jessica Jones. The cool thing here, if my opponent is running Darkhawk, I have Legion on Isle of Silence and turn it off.
Who they dig up this time?
Oh my god, it feels so bad to lose. Okay, my opponent has got Red Hulk, good to know. And it's not a main deck Red Hulk, I think that was the same border as the Nick Fury thing. I don't have any ongoing things. So what does that mean? My opponent has 6-drops, and he can play 6-drop into 6-drop into 6-drop. I have Enchantress and Rogue to deal with... Or I have Enchantress and Rogue to deal with blob and stuff. What I would like to do is to Legion Isle of Silence to turn off. I'm just gonna get out of here. You can try and snipe a blob with Rogue and then turn off a Darkhawk thing, but there's just too many unknowns and my hand isn't great, and we're just playing for 1Q. And sorry, the last bit of Infinity Conquest before I talk about my Jägermeister is there is no matchmaking algorithm in Infinity Conquest. I have played...
Opponent snapped.
Opponent instantly snaps. I respect that. He did not instantly snap. This isn't the type of thing where they're instantly snapping every single game. So I'm putting a little respect on this. This is a marginal leave, but we're going to do it. I have played Infinity Conquest with 5 opponents to rival my own skill and collection level. And it's been the most sweaty, grueling slobber knocker, well-earned, put this on my tombstone as the biggest achievement of my life thing ever. And I have played Infinity Conquests where I'm playing against just completely new people, collection level 700. You know, the highest level this season, 16. And the way to win Infinity Conquest is just to have the patience to get that kind of... I'm not going to Killmonger here because I'm going to Loki next turn. I like, you know, Blob on...
Wind, aid my
on
hand.
Camartage is real sweet. But I could just get another Blob. Oh, just kidding. We might have to Mockingbird here.
Opponent snapped.
I could... This is tough. Because my opponent could also have a Mockingbird, and then I'm pretty cooked. And I have to win both other locations. I'm staying in for... If this was a much more high-stakes thing, I would leave, but... Ah, okay. We're good here. I'm glad that we did this. I'm going to snap here. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to Dr. Octopus. He's going to play something huge here. I'm not scared of it at all, because I am going to get a double blob. The worst case here is he plays something quote-unquote normally big, and I simply cannot get bigger than it with my double blob, or I pull Shang-Chi and then that is too big, but I feel that broadly as this plays out, I'm going to be able to win Camartage. And I can't see him winning Flooded unless he does some kind of Legion thing. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, get out of here. This is me winning the game pending a... Uh-oh. Don't like that. Oh, my God. I wasn't counting on that. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. This'll get us. This'll get us where we need to be. This is my game. Let's go ahead and do a little of that. Why not?
Victory.
God, I am so good at Marvel Snap. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I understand why you would want to watch somebody so good play at the highest level and just demolish their opponent. Feels good. Hope it feels good. Hope it feels half as good to watch as it does to do. Oh, my opponent. Yeah, so this is a little bit... My hand is decent. Yeah, there comes Agatha. Oh my God, like that's the sort of thing that I clip, I upload to my Twitch channel, I make a YouTube channel, put that there, and then uninstall the game and never play again. So I'm gonna stay. There's absolutely an argument to me leaving here, but these are decent enough cards, and I can certainly draw, and we're just playing for 2 right now. Bad. Die? Nope, doesn't die. We'll do... Necrotia Dr. Octopus is real sweet. Question... I think we do this, actually. Actually, don't... I was gonna say we don't want that to hit on Dr. Octopus, because whenever you have a 10-power Dr. Octopus, put it on Necrotia, it is Shang-Chi proof. As it stands right now, I am certainly not Shang-Chi proof. I guess I'm expecting a Loki here. I don't know what my opponent was so thirsty to snap for. Might have been impatience. Couldn't say. Also, sorry, belated 8 minutes. Juan Jose, thank you for the follow. All right, is this? He has 1 card left in his hand. Please don't be Shang-Chi. I'll feel very bad. There's a blob. Okay. If I leech here, I'm only adding 5 power, which is not enough to win Necrotia, and I need to be able to, and I'm not going to be able to throw it out a blob also. Oh, yeah, of course, we should see, oh! There you go. Oh, we also ate Darkhawk. This is, I don't ever check blob in Arishem situations because it's, who cares, but this is very right to do. You're absolutely right. I wonder if even I should snap back.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, reading that blob was clutch. We know, and maybe he doesn't know, that all of the tools that he has to deal with this blob are gone. So what my opponent needs to do... Yeah, okay. Woo! Yes, yes, yes! Grip Smoke Tecmo with the... I get the assist, you get the win on that one. That is absolutely... Because of reading the blob, I knew to snap there. I wouldn't have changed my play, but it absolutely meant that I snapped and was able to get those extra 2. And actually might have changed my play, depending on my hand having better options. And now we're in this very common situation. Okay, so my opponent gets either Mockingbird or Abomination, where I am just... Okay, and they have Darkhawk, so good to know. I would snap here. But yeah, my opponent has to beat me 1, 2, 3, 4 times before I beat him once. Well, this is a bummer. I can't... I mean, I can play Loki on 4, but then I toss a Darkhawk. Fun fact, playing Darkhawk on Krakoa, pretty good. Here's Blob. Goodbye. If I don't draw anything, I think I have to play Loki. This feels very bad, but I think I just have to do it. And we're certainly hoping that I get a... Okay, so we know he got my Mockingbird. We certainly hope we get Darkhawk in this list. And we did not. Feels bad. Turns out Lokiing was wrong there. And there's his Darkhawk. So we're probably going to lose this one. Lots of cards that we can get. Oh, I'm taking it! I'm taking it! I'm taking it! I'm taking it! I forgot about that. Yeah! Yeah! I wasn't clocking that until I actually saw the animation. I'm like, yeah, I'll take a 50 power Nocturne. That's pretty good. Is 50 power Nocturne pretty good? I think it is. And then my own 9 power Rock. Yeah, that's a bummer for you, buddy. We're not drawing any
Still
new
a
cards, so
little
my
light.
hand is almost certainly, or my play, excuse me, is almost certainly going to be Nocturne Wolfsbane. That said, there's cards that beat me here. I mean, like, I'm winning all 3 lanes, but my opponent has Quinjet down and can have some sort of Coulson nonsense. That was amazing. Yeah, I think that's a win, folks. Might even be a casserole.
Victory.
See, right now... Oh, again, super, super polite. T1 Break, a high-quality Marvel Snap player. I cannot overstate how I don't always do this. I just don't think to. I'm talking out loud. I'm analyzing play. Or I'm just in a sour mood. I just don't always send a I lost fist bump in a way that I should. I think other people should. And my 2 opponents so far have done. And they're just great, respectful, polite people. And both inside of Marvel Snap and just outside in the world, just not to get too philosophical about it, the more people that behave like that, the better off society is, not for nothing. Let's complete these missions real quick. And we're keeping it going. Oh yeah, so opponent, yeah, high collection level. Already infinite this season. That's also a bit of a feat. This season has been going for, I believe, 2 days. I got it yesterday, but that's less a function of how good I am, although I am very good, downright great, downright world class. But also time. Like, you are a serious player if you... Not just a serious player, but a serious player willing to sacrifice other things of your life to throw however many hours that you need to get infinite this quick into the season. I can't believe I got that 50 power Nocturne. I would be so mad. He also set the fist bump after that. If that happened to me, I wouldn't be like mad at my opponent specifically. I'd just be mad at the world. Because to be clear, you guys were watching me. This wasn't my master plan. I'm not like, he has Darkhawk and priority, so he's going to play Darkhawk on Krakoa, make a huge card on the top of his deck, and I'm going to steal it with Cable. I could have seen that coming and made that exact play, but I just didn't. I just happened to be the most otherwise correct play to make, and I lucked into it. That would have been amazing if I had said that out in advance. Here's what's going to happen. I know he has Darkhawk. In fact, I knew he had Darkhawk because...
Opponent snap.
I wonder if that... A snap into fist bump, that's a different thing. I wonder if that means he wants to just snap and play for 8. I don't like doing that. I'm not going to do that. Not in Silver 2 right now. Sometimes during the month I like that, but we're not going to do that right now. But yeah, I knew that my opponent had... Oh, that's a sick Nightcrawler. We are going to snap back here.
Oh, snap.
I believe I'm going to be able to win Kunlun with no much trouble because of Man-Thing. And there's no way he's going to be able to get bigger than the Blob and the Space Throne.
Enchantress.
So right now we're going to Dr. Octopus and fill up Kunlun. Probably just win it outright. We don't want to see Jeff here or something that lets him be flexible, or a Kitty Pryde or something. I would just like to lock this up. Yeah, that locks that up. And he's just never going to be able to get bigger than Blob. The thing is, I would love to be able to put something in Morag, but I'm actually not going to be able to put a single thing in Morag. And he might have, like, Negasonic Teenage Warhead or something absolutely insane. So I think I just... And, okay, is there any... let me think about this. Like, Blue Marvel into Onslaught. No, he can't play cards. We're just holding here. So now, if my opponent just plays Shang-Chi right here, I'm going to be so freaking impressed. The other alternative is I could just do like a Mockingbird, but he has, this list almost certainly has Gilgamesh. And I can't beat Gilgamesh with anything but Blob right here, and I literally can't get over to Morag. So, if my opponent plays Shang-Chi here, which they absolutely could, I'm just cooked. Hydra Bob!
Victory.
Okay. Another gold ticket, why not? That's, by the way, another thing with Infinity Conquest. My opponent played that completely, I mean, there's questionable stay, but, like, they're super polite, respectful. I say all of this with the utmost respect for somebody that emoted properly and gentlemanly, was like, let's lay it out for 8 cubes. They didn't care that their goal was to just get through this. Maybe they're trying for boosters. Maybe, you know, they just think that my hand is trash. But, like, they're respectful of their time and respectful of my time in a way that manifests in them playing quote-unquote suboptimally. And there have been times, I've completed the Infinity Conquest many times, and many of those have been through, again, sweaty battles with the hardest of the hard, highest of the high, and I truly earned something that very few other people on this planet would be able to do. But then there are other Infinity Conquests where you have people with that mindset. They just need to burn through their tickets, or they... If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. But, like, let's get this show moving. And it's quite possible... I'm going to actually start that sentence over. Given enough time, if you try a couple Infinity Conquests every single month for several months, you will have a run. It won't be this one, it won't be next one, but maybe it'll be the 3rd or 50th, that you'll encounter multiple opponents like this. And you'll just have a sweaty grind fest for game number 1, game number 2 and 3, win immediately, because like this. Game number 4, sweaty grind fest, and then game number 5, they disconnect. And you just win. And that happens sometimes in Infinite Conquest in a way that not necessarily cheapens the Infinite Conquest, but, like, makes it a little bit more accessible in a way that I think is super good and healthy for the game. The 3 tickets. Keep it moving, keep it going. At the beginning of this stream, if you're just now joining us and or reviewing the list that I am playing, I have Leech in there, and that is a new-ish edition. And but no, it's not a new-ish edition. It's a brand new edition. I added at the beginning of this stream. KM Best released a video outlining his favorite Loki list, and his favorite Arishem list. And notably, there's no Quinjet in it, and there is Leech in it. And I had Leech in my Arishem list initially. Took him out because Leech is less useful in Arishem heads-up matches, broadly. But as Arishem diminishes in popularity, I saw that video and I thought, oh, you know, getting Olympia with Agent Coulson is lame. I really don't like that location there. So my opponent running a normal deck. I will Coulson at the expense of a draw. We'll do a Gwenpool and just see how things go. Here's a Jeff. What if my opponent... Jeff doesn't mean anything because so many... Oh, I was going to play... This is not going great. So opponent running Absorbing Man. I don't have a way to quote-unquote deal with Sentry. I could do something like this. Because maybe trying this to fill up right so the Sentry doesn't do anything. Whoops. What is the Machine World? I am so confused. Ah. What deck runs Absorbing Man, Jeff, and Magic? Yeah. I did want to draw, but I also wanted to play Gwenpool, so, I mean, I guess the finger on the monkey's paw curls. We'll do this. We'll keep filling up Sokovia. Oh, man, this is tough. I really, really, really... I guess this feels so bad. This, whatever deck they're doing... No, it's a... So this is a... I'm a little confused a little bit with the Absorbing Man of this list, but this might just be full clog, and if it is full clog, next turn they are going to debris left or middle, or they're going to White Widow right, and so we're doing this. This looks really premature, but I think that they are able to fill up my Sokovia next turn, and I want to stop that from happening. And I think that's what that stat means. I am going to stay, because I think that they are doing this because they think they can fill up my Sokovia right now, when in fact I'm going to be able to... I think one of those cards is Debris. Yep. Yep. Now, question is, can they get any other big things or any other clogging things? This is a bad spot because... See, that's maybe the correct play. I think we do this. I don't think that they can clog Olympia right here, but I just can't get a ton of power there. I think that I want to do this. I almost want to snap back, because their options here aren't that great. I guess they have 5 cards in their hand. I'm not going to snap back. There's real argument to snapping back. I don't think that they can clog my middle. Maybe I'm wrong. Ah, Shang-Chi. I am not going to Boomer Snap here. Simply because if they can beat me, they will take 8 cubes from me. And if they can't beat me, snapping does nothing. So I think I'm not leaving. I don't think that there's a thing that he can do to get me in these lanes right now. He has no cost reduction. He's got, like, no power on the board. Something like maybe Sentry middle, move Jeff to the right. No, he can't even... He didn't play the Hood. I don't think he has a way to get bigger than me here. Tragically, I think I could have... The way that this played out, calling my shots... Oh, what the hell? Oh, that can do it. That did it. That's exactly what he needed to do. Is that a main deck Grandmaster? I didn't clock that. Yeah. That was awesome. I'm going to give him a fist bump for that. I also don't even think I got that unlucky there. He got 2 1-drops, and they went to 2 drops, and he kind of low-rolled there. They only went to 3 power each, and I think you're... I actually don't know this. Maybe somebody smarter than me knows it. The average power of your average 2-drop, I think, is higher than 3.0. And he only got 3.0 on those 2 things. Did my opponent disconnect, or is this just him glow? Yeah, I don't know what that delay means. Yeah, I fist bumped that play. He did what they needed to do. I'm certainly don't regret not snapping back and losing 8 cubes there. It's funny, the clog of it all is both good and bad in this deck. Like, there are... It's just hard to play against Arashim and Conquest, man. So... kind of a tricky way to play against clog decks. Is with certainly the left lane specifically, but all over, you want to be able to fill up on demand. Which is to say that if they have a void on the right, you want to be able to add a card in advance of that being shipped down to you and have the option of filling up. However, if you play too fill-uppy, like for example right now if you were to play Debris, I'm in a rough spot, and you don't want to get too premature with the preemptive clogging, because then you literally just suicided yourself. Fazzer Snap, hello. Good to see you. Welcome to the Great Ones. Oh, Junkhead again! Raiding again! Yes, that's awesome. Thank you again. Yeah, your spirit. Sorry, going back. Franjev and Xperia evolving a 2-cost into Deathlock. Yeah, that happens. I'm going to play nothing here with the I was going to say with the Elysium of it all, I have the luxury of being able to kind of do whatever I want to do. Junkhead, it is great to see you again. Thank you again for the raid. That is awesome. Speaking of clogs. Okay, you don't want to clog the lane with Jeff in it. I think we do this. We're not thrilled if he plays Debris in the middle or the right, which is absolutely a consideration, but we're just going to do it anyway. Ah, well, I don't know what we want there. That's probably the second best. This is not great. There's very few things I pull here that result me in winning Limbo. Yes, we've lost Limbo, and we don't. The thing is, we're also not seeing like some of the big bombs or 6-drops that we could be seeing. That's actually kind of compelling. I don't think there's any way in hell I can fill up right and keep Miss Marvel activated. So what? We got a 3-drop, a 2-drop, a 4 and a 1. It could happen. I think we do that. No, we do this. No, we do. I would love to be able to hide the Miss Marvel. Wait, actually, is my Miss Marvel active here? 2-0. No, those are 2-0 costs. I would love to be able to hide the Miss Marvel, but if I draw a blob or something, I really want to be able to play that card. Ooh, Cannonball's fun. 3, 4. I was prepared to leave, but this might do it, folks. I mean, that said, a Cersei right can get over the top. I'm only going to let me just triple confirm. That is a 3. Yeah, we're good with the Miss Marvel. The question is, do I want to actually Cannonball, add the more power right? I don't think I want to do that because they could get big with Sentry. So we're doing this and shipping it. I think they're going to just go big on the mid lane. I'm happy to play this for 2. Jughead, how is my stream? Things are going super well. I have been crushing. I mean, Silver Conquest isn't that impressive broadly. The rewards aren't that big. However, it's been smooth sailing, and my MMR is really high. My collection level is pretty decent. That my opponents in Silver Conquest are actually quite high. So things have been going pretty good. So what'll it be? What's he playing? Shang-Chi? Not going to do it. Absorbing Man? Not going to do it. Yeah! Give me my cubes!
Victory.
And Shade in the back, sorry to come back to this belatedly. Dazzler in Arsham is an interesting thing and kind of building it a little bit more zooey. Thank you very much, Jughead. I thought that was one. I don't know if I actually got to the punchline. I took Quinjet out of my Aurisham list, and it feels weird. I don't know if it's bad. I don't know if it's good. It just feels weird. I like getting turn 5 all cards played on the right lane. I think that puts him in a little bit more of an awkward spot, so we're just going to move that over to right. Oh, and you know what? Now that I look at it, I'm looking at my opponent's list. He actually isn't running Sentry. I don't know. There's no Sentry Nihilus in the list. I'm just assuming that there is, and there totally isn't. Need to pay closer attention. Quinjet does seem like an auto-include. The thing is, KM Best is not bad at this game. If he's doing something, and I actually didn't watch the whole video, I would have loved for him to speak on why he didn't include Quinjet. I suspect it might just because it's more of a win more situation.
Opponent snapped.
I don't know what this means. I like my hand, and so I am not retreating. I don't want to play Miss Marvel mid because Clog is real. I really don't know what this right turn card on the right means. Yeah. I'm going to snap back. I don't think that there is any way that he... Is that a 0? No, it's a 1 cost. I'm not going to get a Miss Marvel buff left, but he does not have Enchantress or any way to turn this off. I guess we could be afraid of a debris or something here. And actually, now that I think about it, is like... Mockingbird is technically more power, but I want the draws. Okay, we're not getting the draws, but we're cooking him on power.
I am Iron Man.
Also, fun bit, I've played this Widow's Bite, and Blink is going to be able to trade it out. And it might get a terrible card, but I'm going to get something good-ish. Shane in the back, what video it was? It was, like, today's video. It is, if it's not his most recent video, it's something like the best deck in Marvel Snap or something hyperbolic like that. Oh. Magic, cute. Well, I would sure love to draw Legion right now. So now, things that I have to be afraid of is a Cersei right is going to go pretty hard. And unfortunately, Miss Marvel's turned off with the blink of it all. That said, Miss Marvel left actually does work. Actually, it won't, because I'm going to have to play to turn off Widow's Kiss. I think that this is the right play regardless. I have maybe backed myself into a bit of a corner here.
It's clobbering time.
Yeah, there's the Cersei. Probably is going to get bigger. It doesn't. Happy birthday to me. Yeah, and the thing is, KM Best is obviously enormously good at Marvel Snap, but there are many different Aurisham lists with different flavors that just because he did not include Quinjet doesn't necessarily make it right or even right for my list. I just saw that he didn't include it, watched it for 2 seconds to see if I could find where he said why not to include it, and then just said, fuck it, I'll just try and get Leech in somewhere, and took out Quinjet. So it remains to be seen how we're going to go with these other things. So I think actually the most power here is this. Yes! Yes! Get out of here, junk!
Victory.
That's the other thing. I don't have Darkhawk, so it changes the calculus for me a lot. If you don't have Darkhawk Mystique package, maybe suddenly Quinjet makes more sense. I don't know. There's something that everyone is in agreement on, and there's no ambiguity here, is that in an Arisham list, and it's funny, like I've heard every single streamer / YouTuber say these exact things in different words.
Oh, snap.
This is, Arisham is so good, man. Why don't you have yourself a little Widow's Bite? I mean, oh, you know what? The thing, he can get over there with Jeff. But you know what? I can too with the Loki that I'm about to do. If my opponent snaps back, that means Jeff. But that's okay because I'm Coulsoning into Loki and I have all sorts of tools to deal with whatever nonsense. Yeah, there's this. That's a snap back. I'm so confused why you wouldn't do that there. Doesn't matter because I'm probably going to get a Jeff mathematically. I think there's a high likelihood of that happening. Oh, and I got to Altar of Death and he can't get there. Yeah, this is a bummer for him. Yeah, we just do this and collect our big mana. Now, as I was saying, here's the words that I got distracted. In an Arisham list, the other cards, whether you're putting in the Darkhawk Mystique package, whether you're running Shang-Chi, Rogue, or Legion, or Leech, or any of these tech cards or tech packages, the impact of doing one versus the other is a lot less on average. Oh, actually, my opponent can get to Altar of Death with magic. That's a thing to consider. And I did not get lucky with... what's it called? Jeff. We'll do this. Maybe even this. I think that's probably right. So this is all to say, don't be magic. I wanna be able to just automatically win. Oh, it actually occurs to me that I got Coulson. Maybe I need to use magic now that I think about it. Yeah, if my opponent doesn't have magic. Well, you know what? If my opponent has magic, they are going to use it on Altar of Death right now, because I am absolutely going to cook them on points. And so I will have the option of playing over there next turn. Here's what I do. How about that? You like that? Yeah, we'll do that. And I just filled my opponent. Middle. That feels pretty good. Oh, my opponent not magicking. Yeah, Gambit is happening. Make no mistake, Shane. Magic is happening. Oh yeah, and M'Baku can get there. Let's make no mistake. Now, the question is there... Oh, you know what? There's actually a real argument to not gambiting, and I think I'm actually not going to do that. And the reason is because I have priority and Dr. Octopus. And I think I'm just winning on points. I don't think there's two cards in his deck that get bigger than 10 and 10 and 4. So we're just not... And the thing is, if I hit Gambit, I kill a rock, suddenly I can pull a Cersei or something crazy. So we're just gonna... Oh, White Widow does win now, doesn't it? White Widow does win. I think he would have played it before then. Maybe he wouldn't have. And the thing is... Yeah, I think nothing is the right play. But tragically, you're right. White Widow does win. And to that end, I think maybe I actually do want to Gambit and go for the 1 and 4. Because even if I pull something crazy... Because if he has White Widow, he will stay in the game. If he does not have White Widow... The reason that I'm comfortable doing this is because of the equity here. And we're just going to call it here. So if my opponent stays, it's because they're going to play White Widow, and I needed to play this Gambit to have a shot to win. What does that mean? Well, hopefully I don't kill one of his rocks and then suddenly lose the game to, What? Well, I feel very dumb if I now lose this because Dr. Octopus pulls something I cannot deal with. Oh my god. That's 9 power he wouldn't have otherwise had.
Victory.
Yeah, I did exactly, like, the worst thing that could have happened happen. But, I forget who pointed it out. Fran Jeff correctly said that they would have played that probably exactly the same had they had White Widow, which have automatically win Altar of Death for them, and they were winning Space Throne. It doesn't matter what the hell is happening in Dark Dimension. And if they didn't have that, they would have left the game. And so I was comfortable making the Gambit play because it wasn't going to toss the game in a situation where they didn't have that and otherwise would have stayed in. The fact that he moved Jeff to Altar of Death, that was confusing. I guess he was... I can't think of a reason to do that other than he was... No, and actually now I can think about it. He didn't know that I didn't have Jeff either. This is the magic of Arishem / Loki. Is it's impossible to play against in Conquest because you simply do... I know every single card in my opponent's deck. The only unknown is where he might try and clog and what his Cersei will become. It's very well offsided. I don't know if Arishem needs a nerf. I don't think that Arishem needs a nerf. But if Arishem does get nerfed, I think it's for that reason. Yeah, and regarding kind of the infinite border of it all, my opponent, not infinite, at least not this season, and only has a collection level of 6,000, but they have an infinity border, so it can easily be done. Question, how would they even nerf him? They could do stuff like, just make him add more cards. The way to nerf Arishem, I think the most obvious one. Take a look here. He adds 12 random cards. The more cards he adds, the worse he gets. If he added 50 random cards, he would be a trash card. He would be a complete meme. Because you wouldn't be able to predict anything. I think that let me first say, I think that the card is fine. I think that this is some of the most perfection I've ever seen in a collectible card game. To add a mechanic so dynamic and interesting, while also having it being pretty balanced at the same time. I am so endlessly impressed with Glenn Jones or whoever made this card. I think it's great. It was just really, really, really hard to know in the first 2 days because it was so well designed and so interesting and so much more compelling than other marginal Marvel Snap editions that everybody was playing it. It's something like a 75% play rate. And so it's impossible to evaluate a card there, and if their goal is to get people to play dynamic stuff, then I guess they quote-unquote need to nerf it. As the play rate goes down, I'm sure there's data scientists or data designers or design scientists or whomever at Second Dinner who are paying very close attention to the win rate. I don't think the win rate is that obscene with this card. In my Infinite Climb, I used the same Loki list, and I believe my win rate for my entire Infinite Climb... Actually, I don't know if I can show this on screen easily, but I will bring it up and read it to you. I went I'll type this out. My win rate with Arishem in my climb was 69 and 40. That is a 62.7% win rate. Which is pretty good. However, that includes bots. And yeah, hell yeah, 69 wins. And at least I think it includes bots. I think that Untapped includes bots in that number. And so when you're playing 109 games, 109 games, you are going to get something like 20% of those games are bots. And so to be fair, I did lose to one bot in very embarrassing fashion. I think the win rate for Arishem is actually not that wild, and the way in which it is quote-unquote broken and might need to be nerfed is somehow in Conquest because it is so oppressive to truly have no idea what your opponent does. Why Conquest is interesting to me is you slowly get a sense, or quickly as the case may be, of what your opponent's deck is, their win conditions, how they play, and then in later games you have a pretty complete sense of the picture, and then you can really make next level plays if you're good, and make some really heroic wins that are just so exciting whenever, okay, my opponent has debris, I know they're going to play it over there, therefore I have to fill this up. This is something I do fairly routinely, and I have some really great clips of this. When you're playing against Arishem, you don't got that. You're like, okay, they have cards this game. Hope it's not Iron Man, or it's very, very, very challenging, and I don't know if it's nerf worthy, because I don't think it's actually that good, that great otherwise. But it is really awesome to just have such an asymmetrical information advantage as to make your opponent weak in the knees. I'll tell you this, I am an Arishem lover. If you need to go second dinner, if you are called before Congress and need someone to testify before the House Representatives or the Senate Judiciary or something in defense of the Arishem design as is, I am your man. I've got custom suits, I am a public speaker, and an impassioned defender of Arishem and the card. That said, an argument could be made to probably make him worse in Conquest somehow. I don't think that needs to happen, but an argument could be made. Welcome to my opponent's Skinny Batman. That's kind of funny. They are running an Arishem list. We are going to go ahead and turn off White Hot Room with our Ghost, with our Rhino, because they have a little bit of a lead there, and I don't want them to get it. Oh. I heard that Gwenpool...
Opponent snapped.
So, I almost snapped. What I think this might mean, my opponent with a duplicate card might have themselves Gwenpool also. I'm not leaving. But there's a real argument to leave, because this reads to me like he's about to throw down Gwenpool and Kamar-Taj and then have it again. Oh, perhaps not. I don't agree with my opponent's snap there. Maybe that reads as blob. I almost want to hold the Nebula for Gambit Ambo later. I'm not gonna, but there's an argument to do that. Activate fast drops! Fast drops! Activated, Dazim Rob. You got him as fast as I can give him. Oh, so Leech goes really hard here. I was about to say I'm going to play Gambit. What I was going to do is this. I'm going to throw down Mockingbird. Well, not Mockingbird in that lane, but I can kill 2 of his cards. And 2 of his cards are pretty high value. But I think that... well, you know what? You know what, chat? I think I might do that anyway. Because I'm revealing second, and I think that he might be playing a giant blob on Kamar-Taj this turn. And I'm revealing second because of Ghost, by the way. Dare I say this might be the play? Alright, well, I ain't revealed second anymore. Love to hit Red Skull Mockingbird. Red Skull Mockingbird? Nope. Nope. Well, you like to see that. Well, my opponent has a hand, and I don't have a hand. And as tempting as Blob is on Kamar-Taj, I'm already up by 11. I think we just Blob middle and either collect... I'm not going to snap back. My opponent snaps so aggressively that I'm a little scared of what is about to happen. But this seems like I can't imagine a ton of... He has no cost reduction other than just to make it extra mana. Yeah. I don't know why my opponent's so happy with the snap there. But we take our 2 cubes. And let me take a brief moment to thank everybody for hanging out. If you did not know, I am really new to streaming. I only began streaming 2 weeks ago, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I've been playing Marvel Snap forever. I am one of the best in the world. But I'm new to streaming, and it's super cool that you guys are hanging out. Even if you're just hanging out for drops, or even especially if you're hanging out for drops, you picked this channel, and I thank you for it. You're awesome. You're all awesome for hanging out. Appreciate you guys hanging out and engaging in the chat. That's super duper fun. If you are enjoying yourself... What just happened? He's got... Well, I understand that snap. I'm not snapping back. That is hilarious. If you are new to the channel and are enjoying this, please follow and turn on notifications, and I will maybe have that be the last I tell you about it. But you're the best for hanging out. So there's Mindscape. Good to know. Moon Girl makes me a new Mockingbird and turns off my draw. Boy, having double Quinjet with Mindscape, this feels bad. I wonder if I play Moon Girl, if I will have the opportunity to get both Mockingbirds down before in the next 2 turns. I kind of like that. I'm not... Giving him Moon Girl and maybe trying to clog him up is a little compelling, but with 2 Quinjets down, if he plays Moon Girl, I've just given him all the ammunition. Alright, Magnetos is low. So I have now 2 turns to get down all these Mockingbirds. I may have just bitten off more than I could chew here. And I don't want to Dr. Octopus, because then that just makes my... So if I play, say, this. Each Mockingbird goes down to 2. Yeah. I like that. I think, right? Yeah, that seems right. I can't snap back because my opponent has 2 friggin' Quinjets. They toss the Shang-Chi, perhaps smartly, so I don't have it. Alright, you ready for some next level plays, chat? Hope my opponent likes Mockingbirds for a split second before I get them back. He had the same idea.
I still believe in heroes.
1, 2. Oh, Bessa, did he fill up his hand? No. 3. So he's got probably one of them 0-cost Mockingbirds. I have some more. And no priority. Like, this is game over. Wait, no need to get cute there. Just in case he, like, drew a blob or something crazy like that, we can... Yeah.
Victory.
Thank you, thank you. I confess I did not see it until I was able to get all 3 discounted. but I did see it in advance, and I'll take your accolades. I'll say 80% of your accolades. Yeah, this has been going pretty well. I streamed for 4 hours yesterday for my Infinite climb. And I hit Infinite, but like the first half of the stream, I went absolutely nowhere. I got, yeah, Werewolf by Night, awesome with the star. I started at 88, and then like 2 hours later, I was 89. So it was a little bit of a rough stream, and it came together. This stream, however, has been very successful. So, I have 2 blobs. However, Werewolf by Night is not going to end up in Kiln. So what I'm thinking about right now is something like, should I just completely throw middle? I'm going to be able to add 12 power middle. I'm not going to throw middle, and I think that maybe my 2 blobs will be enough. There's a real argument here to just go in hard blobs and building power elsewhere. Maybe I like that more. Oh, Darkhawk, you say? So my opponent is going to play Darkhawk middle, and I actually don't beat that. But I think I can win the other 2 lanes pretty convincingly, assuming that he gets his Darkhawk out of the way. There's your Darkhawk. Can't beat it. However, I would like 4 of your 6 cards to join on Fisk Tower, please. Goose, not great. Goose is a problem. Oops. Didn't see Goose as a... Okay, well, we have an escape hatch, but... The thing is, I'm only going to be able to add 13 power here. That goose, man. Hilariously enough, the Legion here will make our Darkhawks even more huge if we go that route. So the thing is, unless I draw a 2-cost on... Well, no, that's not cheap enough. What I can do to certainly win... No, I think I might just be cooked here. Kind of bricked with the on reveals of it all with the rest of the cards too. Oh well. I'm happy with how I played that. I just drawing both Shang-Chi to kill my Dr. Octopus. A 10 power Gilgamesh and a Goose that prevented me from getting over there again. That's just the Arisham of it all. You can't be too mad as an Arisham gamer to get Arisham like that. I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world. I would have preferred that to not happen. But I can't be too mad when it does happen. Fun bit of random stuff. Lady Sif is generally an uncomfortable card in this sort of situation. But it is awesome when Arisham is in your hand. You get a random Lady Sif, and you can kind of throw down a guilt-free Sif. Because right now, if I throw it on Sif, on curve, I am sacrificing 2 of the best cards in this deck, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm not going to do that. There's a real argument to do that. Alright, this is okay, because all of my cards are real big. What'll it be from you, sir? Well, I guess I have room. That actually doesn't suck that bad. I now am one Shang-Chi or Rogue or Enchantress away from taking ownership of that lane. So I don't hate it. Cersei's not going to do it, and I'm not going to play Cersei. Or sorry, not going to play Sif and toss my Cersei. If I had played Sif, well, no, Sif wouldn't go into the tunnel there. Now we're just kind of, we're still RNG gamers. There's a lot of, okay, well, my opponent is winning the RNG battle so far. Or is he? Jeez. So, it's an argument to playing, I guess it's probably left. There's a real argument to playing it mid, and I get a kind of replacement card, but this, I have so many unanswerable points left here that even though he can get back into Asteroid M, I'm not overly worried about it, and I can use Captain Marvel to get out. I will feel bad if I draw Rogue or Enchantress. Tell me why I shouldn't roll for Galactus. I think Galactus is bad right now. That said, you're talking to Gerald of Galactus, buddy. The Herald of Galactus. And if you think that I'm going to sit here with a straight face and tell you to not follow your heart and go after arguably the most fun card in the game that puts your opponent in the no-fun zone, well, you've come to the wrong place. That said, I don't think Galactus is very good right now. And Galactus is famously bad cube equity. But it is sure a lot of fun, isn't it? So we're going to do Zero Lady Sif. I guess there's actually an argument to doing, to holding the Cersei and trying to win with one fell swoop on the final turn, and I'm just kind of throwing this stuff away. But we're doing this because I can draw a blob or something. Also looks like my opponent wants to try and compete for Asteroid M, and I respect that. Enchantress is actually bad because it makes it that I can't rogue that now. You'd like to see that. That said, I can't play Cersei on that lane. I need a card. Oh man. Man, this is tough. My opponent has priority. And I have Captain Marvel. So my initial inclination was to play Gambit right just to get some power there. But because I have Captain Marvel, I think that the correct play is this Gambit here. And there's a lot of cards that if it hits Blob or Aurisham, I'm in a very strong position middle. And if it doesn't, but it hits something in the left lane and makes me very strong there, Captain Marvel can get over to the right. I have no idea what my opponent has. But this is the best play that gives me the most ways out. Now, if I hit something left here, Captain Marvel can get big enough. Yes.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
Get over there, Carol! Playing to our outs, baby!
Victory.
Do you think Ajax will make Affliction valuable? Let me preface this by saying that I am... First of all, let me preface this by saying, welcome to the chat, hanging out and immediately asking about, like, Galactus stuff. I have such mad respect for that. Question is, do you think Ajax will make Affliction valuable? Preface, kind of .0. Welcome, Panmaz, Dr. Zoo. Drops after. I am... very good at some things in Marvel Snap and very not good at other things. And one of the ways in which I am not good is evaluating cards before release. I sometimes am super right. I knew Red Guardian was going to be absolutely busted before anybody else. I had no doubt that White Widow would be a meta-defining auto-include. I am often right, but I am often very wrong, too. So take everything I am about to say with a grain of salt and maybe look to KM Best or these other content creators who are better at this than me. That all said, I think Ajax costs too much. If Ajax was a 4 cost card, I would say batten down the hatches because we are in for a bumpy Ajax ride. It's devastatingly powerful. Because it is only... what do we do here? I would love my opponent to not draw. So we're going to do that. Because Ajax costs 5.
Who they dig up this time?
It is of limited... Its power is limited. Ooh. So Cannonball locks up... I think Cannonball's real strong anti-blob tech. There's several options here. I could play Leech. I would like to deny my opponent the draw. Leech isn't a ton of power, but it also turns out... I'm going to Leech because he has such a big hand. And if I lose the draw, that's fine because he's probably not only going to draw a little bit here. Because like he's not even going to draw anything anymore. Because Ajax is 5 cost and he's just a bunch of stats. There's so many, like, why aren't we talking about Red Hulk then? You know, let's see. If I play middle, I cannot have priority, and then Cannonball in the throne room is real sick. I think that's the play here. I think that's the play here. And so let's say that they release him as is, and you build the infliction stuff. If you don't have Ajax, you are still, like, in an okay spot. I would love a cheap card to play with Cannonball. I don't have it. So this is unfortunate. I would have loved to do Cannonball to just automatically win here. And, you know, frankly, I will automatically win here, but then I'm counting on Devil Dinosaur to soloing middle, and that seems real dicey because I've already given up left here. The alternative is to play a 4 cost and a 3 cost. The thing is, Groot only ties... Oh, sorry, this. Maybe this is the play. Could this possibly be the play? I think I narrowly lose in the left and the middle if I do this. Or narrowly lose in 2 lanes, but Cannonball is too fragile on the right. And he's played several cards middle, and one of them could be Ebony Maw or something. So we're just going to do this, probably lose, but it is what it is. We lose left by 2, so I need to... Oh, I forgot about Swordmaster making my dinosaur smaller. Yeah, I don't know what the winning line there was. He played that properly. I just needed a cheaper card to be able to just splash somewhere else. So, sorry, you got an Affliction list, everything's going to plan, and then you play the world's strongest Ajax on turn 5 or turn 6. You could have just done another big card, and I don't think that if you were in a position to win with Ajax, you wouldn't be able to win with these other cards. That said, it's possible that there's some kind of Affliction shell, and Ajax is kind of a not secondary, but a parallel win condition. These sorts of deck building trickery is areas that I'm not the most sophisticated at. So Fun Bit, my sword is going to allow me to play Cull Obsidian, potentially. Dr. Octopus gives me some choices. My opponent is... It's funny, I've been in this position a lot, where I absolutely clobber an opponent down to 2 life. Like, just on the stream. Clobber them down to 2 life, and then they out-RNG me to a crazy amount. And it is what it is, but it's just funny how consistently this is happening. And I have eventually won, but, like, my opponent is starting off much more strongly. So we're gonna Octopus and just hope. Yeah, that's exactly right. He could absolutely be a 5/16, but, like, what are we doing? It's not that crazy. Okay, Great Big Dark Hawk, sure. I guess we don't want to see a... Oh, that's cool, because this is going to fill him up in Bifrost. So if I draw Shang-Chi, I win. Probably. But I need to get Shang-Chi. I don't think Leech matters that much. So I could... I have a couple options here. I think maybe Leech is the play and start to build up to be able to beat him middle, inevitably. Because right is a loss unless I draw Rogue or Shang-Chi, and if I do, then I win it for sure, and I don't need to add anything there. So we do this. My opponent has 4 cards in his hand. He's now full up on Bifrost, and I think that I am close to beating him there already. Yeah. I just need, in 2 turns, to draw Rogue or Shang-Chi. Blob kind of helps. I can play Blob middle, and then I lock up Bifrost, but then I have almost no way to win Nidavellir. Blob mid wins if one of my next 16 cards... I don't know what 16 choose 3 is. This is a mathematical operation. 16 choose 3 of Rogue, Shang-Chi, or Enchantress. Actually, I don't even know if Enchantress wins. Enchantress I don't think wins. I think we do this to kind of play to our outs, because Blob left alone is not enough to meaningfully compete against Tim playing 2 turns. So we're going to do this and hope that we get a Shang-Chi. This is the lowest cost card. That's good. That actually improves our odds a little bit. Shang-Chi or Rogue is what we want to get. And let's see what we... Do we get him? God, I'm so good at Marvel Snap! Oh! Okay, well, we don't want to make... This is... it's rude to make my opponent, dwell on this, even though if I want to talk about it. So... Just in case of Arrow or something crazy, this is the... Oh, he's so good! How does he do it? Is he available for lessons? Get out of my game! See, right now, sending a fist bump there, me, right now, actively, that would be rude as shit. It would be aggressively... I could intend it very nice, and my opponent played well. To be clear, I have nothing but respect for Skinny Batman. But, playing Shang-Chi in that situation after locking him out and just quote-unquote getting lucky by drawing the Shang-Chi, that's not nice, that's not friendly. So I opt to send nothing. Certainly if he fist bumps, then I will fist bump back. Maybe more sophisticated people can figure out a way. It would be really cool if there was some kind of emote in the game, some kind of wording that was incorruptibly unambiguous, that said, you're awesome, you played well, I beat you, and I have nothing but respect for the match that we just had. Fist bump kind of is it, but as I've talked about earlier, it absolutely can be misconstrued. I don't know. I don't know what to do there. I'm also, I think, a little bit thin-skinned about this kind of thing. Maybe, the thing is, there are people like me, people like Revis, who just, our natural instinct is to kind of take things in a less respectful way. And I'm aware of how I am like that in some, not all cases. Like Crip, for example. Like, Crip is famously... I don't know, he's more of a cartoon character now. Well, there's a negativity there that is endemic and just poisons all these other things. Not that Crip is a bad person, but, there are people whose brains are just wired this way. And I don't want to aggravate that. I want to make sure everyone... I want everyone who watches me, all of you, by the way, thank you for hanging out. I want everyone that I play against to have the highest... I want to be the most respectful and friendly. And sometimes that involves not sending a fist bump if it can be misconstrued. That's all I am, broadly trying to communicate. And it would be really cool if there was a way for me to communicate in a 100% respectful way that never lands wrong. Anyway, soapbox over. Well, we did awesome. Oh my god, I don't think I lost what? I think we just went 6-0. Is that right? Did we go 6-0? I don't remember. Sorry, did we go 9-0? I've lost track of time. It's possible I just went 9-0 no. That's not how silver works. I believe I just went 6-0, 2-2 for 3 gold tickets. That was awesome. Arisham rules. And we're going to call it there. So I want to take a couple moments and thank all of you for hanging out. thank the folks for chatting, for engaging. This is super fun for me. Invite you all to come back whenever I stream next. I will be streaming probably here and there for the next week, pretty actively. I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you, Hail Satan Luxy. Thank you, Cripsmote Tecmo. We actually have to talk, both of you, about what Thanksgiving might or might not look like. We've had discussions internally, and I kind of want to get that going and figure out where people are at. Shane, thank you so much. Shane, extra special thanks. See, this thing is Hail Satan Luxy, Gripsmo Tecmo. I know these people in real life, and they are... like, I'm calling in favors to get them to hang out with me. Those of you who don't know who I am and are hanging out and watching the Snap content without the prior relationship, you guys rule. Not that my friends don't also rule, but I look forward to being good friends with you guys as well. What was I going to say? We're going to get a raid going of somebody. In the spirit of Junkhead, who raided me, we're not going to raid Darajin or anybody, not that they're not great, but we're going to raid somebody that does not have a million folks. We're going to keep you in the Snap ecosystem so that if you're here for the drops, you're going to keep those going. No, not following. Same category. Oh, yeah, Perry. Yeah, is Perry here? That's a great... Yeah, I've rated him before. 39 viewers. You got it. Switchy Ninja, we're rating... We're perfect. I love it. I want everyone to go say hello to Perry. I... do not know him personally. I've rated him once before, maybe yesterday, now that I think about it. But 39 viewers, we streamers stick together. Wait. Did I... How... Okay, start raid. I'm new to the interface. Sorry, as I've only been doing this for 2 weeks. Starting the raid, going over to Perry Manilow. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Follow me, come back. Thank you, Switchy Ninja. Have fun over at Perry. And we'll chat soon.
Day 7-Eleven, it's broken. Oh, I checked, it was broken. I checked. Nate the Great Martin coming in. Welcome. Hello, Nate. You just caught me in the middle of my rant here about 7-Eleven because their Slurpee machine's broken on 7-Eleven. Slurpee Day. How? The one day of the year. You gotta make sure it works. The absolute audacity. So I tried to make a little broke-ass version of Slurpee because I'm the Slurp guy. That's my thing. I make the Slurp jokes all the time. I had a whole bit set up. I was gonna have a Slurpee, and they didn't have the Slurpees. So I just got some Coke in a big gulp cup. I was gonna use crushed ice, but my damn freezer ice machine can't even crush the ice properly. So it's just kind of like broken cubes of ice. It's just Coke. It's just a Coke with ice. And it's so disappointing. So very disappointing. So, cheers to you. Happy 7-Eleven, everybody. Hoping we will have a good stream despite the hardship. Yes, I know. This is what I'm complaining about in my life, Nate. I do have actual hardships, but those aren't worth getting into